Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's been so long since I actually made like a sit down video or a vlog or whatever on this channel. So I randomly just decided to do this night. It's currently like past 10 p.m. and it was a very random idea. I was like watching YouTube and I just thought, like, why not do a video? Like, just do a video on my own channel. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon Queen. I am 21 years old. I clocked 22 in September. I'm a dancer. I love singing. I also love K-dramas. As you guys can probably tell from the title of today's video, I just thought about sharing my journey of how I got into K-pop and how I got into dancing in general. Before we even begin this video, I want to say thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. Honestly, I was gonna make like a video or something telling you guys thank you for that, but I just haven't, and I feel like now that I'm making this video, it's a very good opportunity to actually say that. So thank you guys for 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for supporting my videos and liking and everything. I love you guys so much. For today's video, like I said, I wanted to talk about how I got into K-pop and I got into dancing in general. I want to just like share my journey and just like give a little story time kind of thing. For people that are new here, like I was saying earlier, that don't know me, I make K-pop dance covers. I cover dances in general, but majorly K-pop songs. I've been doing that for quite a while now. I think it's going to 2 years since I made it my main content across my social media pages. Getting into the video, let's start with how I came to know about K-pop. I think that was back in 2020 during the whole COVID-19 quarantine period. Everybody was at home and the whole world was on like lockdown. People were at home, you know, on YouTube probably because there was nothing to do, and that was the first time I came across BTS. They were the K-pop boy band that got me into K-pop. But thing is, back then I didn't even know they were K-pop. I have really not told this story online before. I've only said to most of my friends, like fellow armies, when we get to meet each other and they're like, how'd you know about BTS, you know. Their song was playing on TV at one time. It wasn't YouTube. It was this channel on DSTV where they do like music videos. They play like urban. I think it was like Urban TV or something. And BTS's Dynamite was playing, and I really got intrigued because the only Dynamite song I knew before was by Tao Cruz, if I'm pronouncing that name correctly. I was like, okay, this is a new set of people I'm seeing singing a different type of Dynamite, and I liked the song so much. I was so confused about the type of people they were because they were like a group of boys, and meanwhile I thought there was a girl in that same group because I was hearing a voice that sounded like, if you're an army, if you are into K-pop or whatever, you know, Jimin's part in Dynamite sounded so much like a woman's part. I legit thought it was a woman singing there, and they were like, I just saw one name, BTS, and I'm like, okay, perhaps it's a mixture of guys, girls. And then I see the guys in shirts and trousers and they all look like men, but I'm like, what if? But then I never really took it seriously. I never did like any extra research on BTS because back then I was heavily into pop music, to the likes of Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, Charlie Puth, lots and lots of those. So it was another English song. As many was a Korean song, I would have probably made my research in them. But it was another English song, and I didn't even bother making any research on who BTS were. I just looked for the song and I started playing it on repeat. That was also the year I came to know about Blackpink, right? Because Blackpink released the song Ice Cream with Selena Gomez, and I'd heard that on the radio before, and I watched the music video on that same channel. But I had no idea these people were Korean because I could only hear English. Honestly, I could only hear English. But then BTS was the first group I got to know, then Blackpink came after. I just loved those two songs and I continued listening to them on repeat. I think I somehow like became a fan, but it was not until 2021 when I actually got admission into university that I came across like people that introduced me to the whole K-pop world and K-drama world. Because I only knew about C-dramas. No, I actually knew Korean. Sorry, I'm diverting, but I actually knew Korean dramas existed because throughout my primary school / secondary school days, people would talk about like Playful Kiss, talk about Boys Over Flowers, talk about like many of those type of K-dramas. But I was so not interested because all I loved watching back then was Disney Channel or Nickelodeon or, Net Movie Zone. So I was never really interested in such movies. I would only care about what I was interested in. So I got into school and then I needed to watch movies. So I was watching American movies and then I was introduced to K-dramas and I found a whole lot of K-dramas. But we're not yet in the K-drama aspect of all this. We are still in the K-pop aspect. I came to know more about K-pop as a whole. I came to find out that it's a whole industry on its own and that BTS were not an American boy group. They were a K-pop boy band. Back then in 2021, I listened to many more of their music, like Butter, Permission to Dance, On, like DNA, I think Spring Day, We Are Bulletproof, The Eternal. Many of those songs like really hit me and I was like, wow, like are you serious? I got to also find out that Blackpink was also K-pop and not an American girl group. That is how I officially became a K-pop person, and BTS has since then been my favorite boy group. In the process I got to know about other K-pop groups, I mean like back then, Cortez was not existing then, groups like Le Sserafim, groups like NewJeans, groups like Cat's Eye is not even K-pop. Groups like, many of the groups that exist today though, I think 5th Gen or whatever, were not existing back in 2020, 2021. I got to know of like groups like Stray Kids, Twice, 17, but then obviously with every kind of like genre or category of music, everybody has their like preferences, right? So I feel like the K-pop groups back then that I easily fell in love with was BTS, Blackpink, and Stray Kids. The first thing that drew me into Stray Kids was Felix's, that song where he goes like do 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 do, yeah. His deep voice in that song, sorry, pardon me, I can't remember the name of the song. That's what drew me into Stray Kids first. I'm not gonna lie, actually, I got into BTS majorly because of the songs first. Just like every other artist. Their looks and, every other thing about their character, personality came in after. Like, after listening to their music and it was like mind-blowing, I decided to make like actual research on them. Get to know their faces, the members' names, watch ARMY's edits on TikTok, Instagram, like all those test straps and whatever. That came in second with BTS. But with Stray Kids, I feel like looks came in first before music. It was like visuals first that like got me into standing them. And then music came in. I've been listening to new K-pop groups like exploring. NewJeans came out 2022. I love NewJeans. Le Sserafim. I found out about Enhypen in 2022, but I also didn't like pay too much attention to them, just like the popular trending songs. Then I was like really vibing to, I was like, okay, this K-pop, but BTS has been my alt group since I got to know about them. Actually, in general, like I stand them more than I even stand any other group that I say I stand. I'll say 100% an ARMY and like probably 30% any other group's fan base name. For the K-drama side, it also happened back in 2019. First off, I watched my very first K-drama and that was City Hunter. I finally got to see the hype and why people always loved C-dramas, but I was always into K-dramas. But I was always into C-dramas. And then I got into school and it turns out many people around me were obsessed with K-dramas. Like here in Nigeria, I feel like females are really obsessed with like K-drama. Like K-pop might not be that popular in Nigeria, even though it is, but it may not be that popular. But trust me when I say K-drama is really popular here in Nigeria. I watched like a lot that kept me stuck with K-dramas, like I watched Tale of the Nine Tails. I watched I think those are the very first K-dramas that got me like stuck. Extraordinary You. I don't even know when most of these dramas came out, but I knew that I watched them back in school in 2021. That year was the ultimate year for me. I love that year. Now, honestly, I can 100% say that I can't remember the last time I watched an American movie, like a Hollywood series or a movie. Okay, let's say I still did. I just rewatched Army of the Dead like a few months ago, but I watched it the first time in 2022 or 2023, one of the two, but I just rewatched it again. I wanted to start watching Walking Dead, but I gave up. Many more K-dramas are coming out, so I dropped it. I just dropped it. There's this thing about K-dramas that just keep me like, you know, obsessed. Be the green flags they make their characters have, you know. Truth be told, the men are fine men, so why not? That's literally my story on how I got into K-pop and K-drama. And then for dancing, I've always wanted to know how to dance. Like, I've always had a thing for dancing, like this love, this passion for dancing since I was before I even became a teenager, or since I was a teenager, let me just say. I was in secondary school, or before secondary school. Thing is, while growing up, like in school, if you're Nigerian, you know how Nigerian school systems work. We usually hold like end of the session parties every third term before we get into our next class. And so there'll be like different kind of things, activities you could join for the party, like cultural group dances, drama, choreography, dances, you know, you could do for presentations. And I would always love to join anything dance, like be it a cultural dance, be it a kind of like choreography dance, the ones we would choreograph a Lara George song like Hallelujah, Hallelujah, you know, those kind of things. So I would always join them, and I think I finally realized that I actually wanted to learn how to like dance, like actually, when I was in SS1, yeah. And I would beg my dad to like enroll me in a dance class or a dance school, even if it was, you know, church related. I don't know, but he was like, nothing, like what's the point, like why pay money to go learn how to dance? He's not gonna be wasting money on how to learn how to dance. There are many more expenses on that, on grant, which I totally get and I totally respect, because yeah, there was really a lot of expenses than to just like take money and register me in a dance class. You know, could always come later. At that time, I felt bad though. I really wanted to learn how to dance. So what I would do was that when I'm watching like TV and they're doing like any musical like dancing stuff, we just like dance along with them, not knowing what our bodies are doing. My sisters and I, not even both my sisters most of the time, it's my second sister, like Shekinah. If you guys watch our channel, you probably know who I'm talking about. We'd mostly like freestyle together, and sometimes I would just like stay by myself in front of the mirror, or sometimes in front of the TV, because you could literally see yourself from our TV screen back then. So I'll just be like dancing randomly, just moving my body, whatever music is playing, be from the radio, be from a phone, be from wherever. I'm just like dancing out. Like that's how I used to do. And then back in 2020, I feel like that's when I actually started using YouTube tutorials on learning how to dance, like all those like beginner steps for, you know, dancers beginner moves, or however they name them back on YouTube. I used to search for all those things and like just like train myself in a way, but my body took a lot of like months and probably years to get used to how a dancer's body should move. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm even saying, but basically it took a while before I could understand how to actually move like an actual dancer. In 2022, 2023, I decided to give it my first shot at actually posting, like dancing to a TikTok trending sound, because I would scroll on TikTok all the time and I would see like trending dances and people doing challenges and the likes, and I would always want to do so. But the moment I film myself and I watch that video, I feel I feel like, oh my god, no, this is not something anybody would want to watch. So I just never did it. And then I posted my very first dance video on TikTok in like 2022, I think, if I'm getting it correctly. And well, I would say I did pretty well for my body at that time, because there were many more that I hate. Like, watching it back, I just like hate them. Later in the year, like 2022, I decided to try, like, just try doing K-pop choreographies, because it's easier. I mean, back then I watched a lot of Chris Brown, like movies that Chris Brown acted, or Tiana Taylor, and I'll see them dancing and I'm like, oh, I love hip hop dance moves. Like, I always, that is what made me fall in love with dance, like hip hop dance moves. And then there were like Afrobeat leg works that were like trending back then, and I would try to learn everything, but I was not just getting anything. And then I came to know about K-pop like that time, and I got to know later on, like, well, because it took me a long time to do a huge research about K-pop and everything, and I got to know that they actually, like, watching performances, I see them do choreographies on stage, and then I see people recreating dances, and then I see tutorials on YouTube. So I'm like, what if I try covering a K-pop dance instead, like learning the choreography and like doing it? It might be easier, and in the process I could learn certain steps that could be used even in a, you know, like hip hop choreography and all that, like learn how to freestyle in the process and everything. Thanks to the people I watched their tutorials on YouTube, I started learning K-pop choreographies, and I started covering them, obviously with BTS first. At that time, Suga's Hegum came out. Yeah, I was into like learning that dance, and many more during that period. I think Jungkook 7, Le Sserafim choreographies, Blackpink too, yeah, Stray Kids. Like, I tried a lot of that, and I tried posting it at one point in time, but there were some that, yeah, despite looking like so bad, I just went on with posting it because I was like, what, I'm trying it. The reason I even left them is because I can always look back to them in the future and see how I have improved in my dancing throughout the years. So my journey started like that. I would learn and I would post, and I officially started in 2023 or 2022, one of the two. I think towards the ending of 2022 was when I decided to actually start posting K-pop dance covers, but I was not serious with it. I was not really confident about what I was doing and how I was like moving and all that. So I was just not serious with it, and I decided to try other like niches. Instead of being a dancer, I continued singing because I love singing, doing song covers, doing many other type of like video, kind of like thirst traps or whatever that was trending on TikTok then. But I was just looking for what would work for me. But then 2024 was the year that I just came to know that dancing was my niche. Like, that was, not that I had any viral video with the dance or anything, but I just like came to know that no, this was my thing. And I've been doing it non-stop from 2024 up to now. And literally when I look back, I see how much I have improved, how far I have come. And I'm actually so grateful to myself for not giving up, because I finally had my first viral video on YouTube. That means like a lot to me after all these years of like trying so hard. That's basically my whole story of how I got into like dancing and like K-pop, covering particularly K-pop songs. I also do like any other challenge that's like trending, whatever, but most of the time I go look for like K-pop choreographies and like cover them, because first off, I feel like they're way easier to learn. So to help me learn dancing without going to like a dance academy, joining like a dance class, having like that kind of tutor, I have to keep doing something that keeps me dancing, right? And most of the time YouTube won't have like what you would actually be taught in an actual like academy. So I just look for K-pop dances. At least there are tutorials on YouTube for complex dances, because I have gotten to that point now where I can also learn a choreography just from looking at the people, just slow down the speed, and I can learn the choreography from the dancer. But there are some times when it gets really complex, or there are tiny details I need to memorize in such a like short amount of time, or whatever, and I just look for a tutorial because that makes it faster for me. I actually want to say a big thank you to people that post tutorials on YouTube. That's amazing. Like, people like me really need them. And honestly, I'm not that perfect a dancer yet, because I know I shouldn't be comparing myself with other people, because I never had like any training. I literally taught myself how to dance. But sometimes I can't help it. I just like look at my dance moves and I look at some other people's, and I'm like, I'm not quite there yet. But I keep pushing. Sometimes I film a dance cover and the moves are not as clean as I want it to be. Sometimes I make mistakes while filming the cover, but because I'm so exhausted, I just like post it anyway. All those things are there, and I'm just like trying. I know with time I would get like where I want to be, and very soon hopefully I would have the opportunity to join a dance academy or a dance class or whatever. Yeah, that's how I got into dancing. That's how I got into K-pop as a whole. That's how I got into K-dramas and everything Korean, actually. That was my latest story. I don't know why this late at night I just felt like letting you guys know, like having an idea. So if there's any of you people that are watching this video right now and you also love dancing, because I keep getting a lot of comments of people saying my dancing is way better than them, they would never be able to dance this good, they will never be. If you guys know that that is like what you love, like dancing is your passion, or you've always wanted to, honestly just keep trying, because really I used to think like that back then, and seriously I still do sometimes. But there are sometimes I see some of my choreography videos and I'm like so proud of myself. I'm like, wow, you did that. Like, no, you ate that, you know. I just want to say, like, if you guys are there and you feel like your dancing is not as good as someone else's, you know what, no, just keep practicing, keep learning more moves, keep practicing the moves, keep trying, and honestly you would reach that kind of point you want to actually reach, and in the end you'll be saying your videos are actually good. I hope you enjoyed this little yap session of mine at almost 11 o'clock in the night. Thank you guys once again for 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I'll see you guys in my next video, be it a short or a YouTube video. Bye, love you. Mwah.